Hi, it's Joy and Shane. You're watching The Umbrella Academy Season 2, Episode 1, right back where we started. I am so excited for this. I'm excited to find out where they are, where Five is going to have taken them. Did he have time to plan a destination or what? We need to figure out a way to help Vanya heal. I mean, fix her or whatever seems a bit like, I don't like that term, but I think she can heal, learn to deal with her emotions, given that they were suppressed her entire life. And learn to control her powers, and this family can find themselves with each other. But this show is crazy, so it could go in a totally different direction, but I'm very excited. A reminder that, as always, you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and that comes 2 weeks in advance of YouTube, and the edited version goes on my Patreon 1 week in advance. You can also sponsor me to watch shows, and just generally support my channel here, although literally everybody who ever comments on my videos, it means the world, and every viewer means the world. So yeah, let's go. Has he ever? He's never done it with that many people. Oh. Hello, you two.
That was exhilarating.
They appear to be alone.
Where's everybody?
Well, welcome to the past yet again.
They're gone.
Oh, great. Good luck, my loves. Oh, a year later. Oh, hopefully they're all at least going to be vaguely close together in time. Hello, sweetheart. Disgusting. Oof. God. That guy! Oh. Oh, hello, sweetheart. She is going to be in for the biggest shock of them all, and she's alone. The trauma she was going through. Oh, God. Yep, you've got to find them, my love. You saved their lives, sweetie. Oh, no. Have they changed history?
Soviets attack US.
Oh, my goodness. Where the frick is everyone?
What the hell did we do now?
He aged in that time as well. Oh, Lord. Hello, sweetheart. She has gained control over her powers in this time. Have they teamed up? Ooh. He is getting control over his powers. Oh, are they all here?
I heard a rumor that I blew your mind.
She got her voice back. A lot has happened. What the? Oh, goodness. Well, they worked together briefly. Oh my God. Oh. Who are these people? Oh. Oh my goodness. We now don't know what causes the end of the world.
How many times did I say bulletproof briefcases?
Sweetheart, you can teleport. That is the person that has seen everything you need. Yeah. Yep.
I was curious if...
I mean, there have been space visitors. We know this for a fact.
You ever heard of... I think I stranded them here.
You did, sweetie. You saved their lives, though.
I got 10 days to find them and save the world.
Hmm.
I need your help to do that.
His dreams are coming true.
Thought that this,
Oh. Oh, is it because did he insist he was from the future or something?
Who else would like to share how your whole childhood felt like some kind of experiment?
No, they all do need therapy.
Or did it just feel like an experiment?
No, it was literally an experiment.
Yep.
Who was the real Diego?
Oh, this is therapy they need, but not this.
I've never known.
He's alright through it.
I totally ate that shit up.
Hmm.
Lunch shows you're wrong.
It's for assholes who think they're
This
actual
paranoid
heroes.
fantasy about President Kennedy is what got you committed
Look,
in
they
the first
are
place.
going to kill
Oh, did he want to try and stop this?
right here in Dallas, all right? You understand? All right? Let go. I'm okay.
Sorry.
That was his goal. Can you get him out? Like teleporty, or is it Not 5.
Hey,
Oh.
Diego. Page 16.
Hmm.
Disturbed man with multiple knives arrested outside 1026.
That's Diego.
That's legal because we have to stop the apocalypse.
Oh shit. But then it's happening for another 60 years.
Not that apocalypse.
Yeah, there's another one now.
What causes that?
I don't know. Maybe some Looney Tuned asshole with a hero complex tried to save the president.
Oh, hero complex.
Guard. My
Oh,
brother is plotting an escape. The bars of his room have been shaved down.
yep. He doesn't want him to intercept history. Well, she's doing so much better.
Still no memories.
Does she really have no memories, or?
Need some new ones, huh?
Because it could be a result of all the trauma she underwent that she has lost her memories, or she's saying that to fit in. At least these people are caring for her and they're giving her an environment to heal. That's a really good way of getting her from the end of the last season to a slightly more stable place. You look fantastic.
Remember when I told you that's why you're always alone?
Oh, brothers.
You wanna play a little poker while you wait?
Don't cheat, because Ben could look at their cards, right?
He's bluffing, by the way.
Hmm.
He's got nothing.
Is Ben lying to get back at Klaus?
Full house.
Ben.
Oh, well. Pick a better time to self-actualize. You're loving this, aren't you?
Don't crash. I mean, he's very identifiable if you do need to, you know, put up a sign. Or go up a sign. What about go to the police?
In the rights of one man,
I'm so glad she's able to talk.
I threatened.
I'm glad she has been safe this time. I need all of them to have been.
Pre-anniversary gift for my beautiful wife. I know you
Wife?
can't see the stars, but
The moon.
I see you staring at it every night.
No.
So now you can see it whenever you want.
This man is lovely. And everyone's hearts are going to get broken. I'm surprised at how well so many of them have fallen into these lives. I mean, yeah, some of them would not fit in very well. But he's found a way to make a living. We need him to be found, because he lost everything all over again, and he was in a dark place as it was. With finding out the moon was nothing, and then finding out, you know, decisions he made regarding Vanya that I know will have weighed on him.
That's assault.
So much for honor and dignity.
Him first.
Yeah, it's such a double standard where when you're protesting injustice, if you act on the anger you're feeling, or just in self-defense, but with the same level they're bringing to you, you get punished for it.
Sooner or later, everyone has to find for herself.
Hmm.
Was it a lie? It was magical.
You didn't have any choice back then as a woman, really. He has had it roughest so far. Luther's up there too. I totally understand his impulse to want to go and stop something like Kennedy's assassination, but it's one of those things where even with time travel, unless you know the difference, what if something worse happened as a result? It's awful. Oh, you're still feeling the effects of the drug, my love. Oh no. These are the bad guys, right? Oh, thank God Diego's escaping. There was no need for him to dress in the milkman get-up. Oh, my love. Oh, sweetheart.
Like to run your mouth smooth. Try to break your jaw.
Good job, because abusing inmates is not correct. Ah! Is this the Commission? Is this the Russians? I mean, who is this? Are these more aliens?
Shut your mouth and stay on the ground.
Who is this lady? She's awesome.
Nice to see you too, Lee.
You know what it's like to be stuck in time? Thinking this is
Oh
how you're gonna
God,
live out the
well,
rest of your life.
let's hope he makes a newspaper article.
And not knowing it, because the world ends again in 10 days. I have no
Please
idea how to
believe
say
him.
I don't give a shit.
He's in a not good place right now. Gotta find the others. I absolutely love this show. That was a fantastic episode. It's like a whole different show to season 1, but it works so well with the same characters, and it's a similar. I love it. I love that we saw Hazel again killed. And they're not all in the same place. I mean, they're all in the same place. They were dropped into the same street in Dallas, Texas, and I mean, just thinking about that. If you're suddenly there alone in the past, so you have no money on you, no ID, you don't exist. Now, yeah, it would be easier for someone who looked like me with white skin to fit in the 60s, in racist Dallas, Texas, racist UK, racist wherever, but it would still be just impossible. Vanya is very lucky that car hit her, and I believe her that she doesn't have memories, just because I mean, she's, I don't know 100% that I do believe her. I think I do believe her because I don't know that she would have processed everything quite so well if she could remember everything, which does mean she's still going to have to, like, wham, have all her memories back. So she probably doesn't even know about her powers. She's had these headaches, which is potentially withdrawal from the pills she was taking, as well as side effects of her powers and her not using them. But I could believe her having lost her memories, because that would help her kind of get to this place where she's doing okay, rather than kind of be struggling with it all and wanting to find her siblings and wanting to know what happened and feeling guilt for what she did, or feeling anger still. You know, I'm intrigued about where she is. I could also see that she has her memories, but she's just choosing to ignore them and just live a new life. And I'm wondering if anything's going to form between her and the lady, but she's married, it's all very complicated. I mean, throughout history until very recently, the only real choice given to women in terms of their expectations for women was marry the first of, one of the first available suitors, have many babies. You know, me being 27 and single would be unbelievable, just a spinster. I often quote Charlotte Lucas's, you know, I'm 27 and a burden on my family, line to myself, but you can see why women like, oh, I know her name because she said it, have ended up in these sort of loveless marriages where everything's fine. They're perfectly content. There's no great spark, you know, the husband works all the time. But I'm intrigued to see how all their stories are going to work and mesh, how quickly they're all going to find each other as well. Now, Five did know where Diego was, but now Diego's running loose. I'm guessing he found some kind of advert for Luther's fights or something, which is how he found him. Klaus may well be in the paper soon. They could potentially see a missing persons ad for Vanya. Same thing with the bad guys who managed to track Diego down. They could find all of this information too. Allison is not currently someone I think that they would have a great job of finding, but if their protest starts and gets the media attention they're expecting it will, she will be in the media then. There's kind of the ways they can all find each other. I think Allison would want to help save the world. I think she'd believe Five, but with Allison there is a chance that she would think, I don't know for sure if I can believe you, and what we're doing right now is really important too. I've got to stay with my husband. The fact that Allison has fallen in love with someone and has a husband who genuinely seems like a wonderful guy, you know, it doesn't look like, if he was a jerk and she kind of just got with the first guy she found because it was safe and, you know, like a way to live, I would totally understand it, but he seems like a really genuinely wonderful person. Sweet, caring, considerate, standing up for what he knows is right. I really liked him, and I don't think it's going to secretly turn out he was evil. So that being said, there's some hard times with Alison and Luther because they never really got to evaluate their relationship, to figure out what they wanted to do. In the day that wasn't, they did, kind of, but in the days that we've had, there was a lot left unsaid, and Luther's already in a very dark place, so that's going to add to it. But I'm really proud of Alison for the life she's been able to make for herself. And she wasn't able to find any evidence of her siblings. She's in this strange time, a strange time full of prejudice beyond anything that she would have unfortunately already experienced just by being a person of colour in the modern day. She's found people and she's standing up for a difference. She wants to make change, and I love that about her. And I'm sad for her because I think most likely whatever happens, she'll probably lose her husband unless he's willing to go with her, or something terrible happens to him along the way. I'm so glad she's developed the ability to speak again. From that moment when Five saw them all at the end of the world, it seems as though her power works too, which is fantastic. So then Diego, it's between him and Luther, who I feel the worst for, in terms of the life that they've led since they've dropped into the present past, but it's their present. Obviously, the impulse of I'm gonna avert one of the great tragedies of history makes total sense. If you dropped into the past in time to try and stop the assassination of Kennedy, I can also understand why they put him into a mental institution for the criminally insane, or it's just a mental institution, because anyone who's raving that they need to kill this random man because he's gonna kill Kennedy you would arrest him, and then you would give him psychiatric evaluations. I totally understand that. But he does, it's so funny because the therapy he was getting obviously was not working, it was going straight over his head. He does need counselling, they all do, they all could do with some intensive therapy to get over the issues of what their father did to them, but he does have a bit of a hero complex. To an extent they all do, but he is the one that took it the furthest, that went off and became a vigilante post the Umbrella Academy. So I can understand why he gets really sensitive when people suggest that to him, and why he's so desperate to break out, and why he's counting down the days. He knows the time is running out with what he wants to try and do, but what he needs to do is actually play along for a prolonged period. If he's been in there for 90 odd days, play along that you're getting better for longer, maybe they'll let you out. Now, I can see him being very betrayed by Five the next time he sees him, but I can also understand why Five left him, because he was gonna do stuff that could muck up the timeline worse. I mean, as much as we'd all like to go back in time and kill baby Hitler, you don't know what the bad effects of that would be. I mean, to be honest, that is one that I definitely think could probably be worth it. At least teen Hitler, you know, because of just how many people died at his hands. But it's almost one of those things where I think if I were to go back and want to change the past, I'd want a magical crystal ball to see what the effects would be. Hitler, I think, if it would stop the Holocaust and all those deaths, then would definitely be worth it. But the JFK assassination, I mean, I can totally understand why he'd want to do that. But what would the world look like now? It's just so fascinating as an idea. So Five just being like, oh, there's already an apocalypse coming, what if you cause it? Of course, Diego has still managed to escape. And the woman who's with him, I am very intrigued about. She seems great. I really am enjoying her character so far. But why was she there? Was she there similarly to him? She's not really insane or not really a criminal, but I'm intrigued about her and concerned about who she's going to turn out to be. Vanya has found her way to a lovely family. The child is different. I don't know whether he's autistic or just mute. I'm not entirely sure what his story is, but she, even if she doesn't have the memories or not, we've discussed that already, will be able to kind of relate to that, to being the odd different, not what people expect. This is a very strange family in the sense that they're not strange, they're just very kind and loving, but in the fact that they just took her in and they've kept her and they're looking for the posters, I feel like some shenanigans are going to happen here going forward. Luther, I don't know whether this is like a crime syndicate or just like a kind of sleazy dealing guy, but he is going involved with some not too great people. Now Luther, at the point we found him, had found out that the moon was just getting him out of the way, that the dad didn't even look at the samples. He then almost was with Alison, but she was hurt that he'd slept with someone else when they were kind of forming an attachment, but mostly she was hurt with how he treated Vanya. And Alison, the last time they really saw each other, wanted nothing to do with him. I think she would have come through it, but that was their last meeting. He nearly lost her, and then she was mad at him. And as much as I can understand his reasoning behind imprisoning Vanya, I definitely think that was a hard thing for him to do. He did, in his mind, it was the greater good, but I don't think he loved it. And then the fact that she broke out and then caused the apocalypse will be weighing at least a little bit on him. And knowing that he put her through hell, like, that will all be on his mind as well. And then he's suddenly there and alone, and someone that is so visibly different. He couldn't just fit in seamlessly. I mean, he probably could have done, but he could never disrobe, take his jacket off. He's kind of found a way to survive. And yeah, it's not a good way. It's not something he feels good about, cheating in fights. I mean, it's not technically cheating, but it's more cheating the betting of the fights, because obviously pretending you're going to lose and then winning when you, like, that is cheating. But he's living kind of a quite dark life. It's not been good for him mentally speaking, so I really feel like we've found a much darker Luther to the one we left, or at least the one we knew at the beginning of season 1, where he had a lot of hope and he was the optimistic one that believed in their dad, and now he's at his lowest. So hopefully they're going to be able to bring him back from that. I don't know if Five's going to keep pursuing Luther, given that he has him, he knows where he is, or if Five's going to just be like, well fine, strike 2, let's find the next one. Klaus and Ben, Klaus, he looked like a cult leader, like a crazy hippie man, and he at least was with a group of crazy hippie people in San Francisco. Why was he in San Francisco? How did they get there? Did Ben have some ghost connections, or was he able to manifest into reality and form connections with people? Ben is still, I feel so bad for him being dead, obviously. I'm intrigued about Klaus. I feel like we learned the least about him in this episode because he'd left wherever he was, he got into shenanigans, Ben and he are having a falling out because they've been trapped together, getting frustrated with each other. I'm intrigued about what they've been up to. It's been typically Klaus, typically crazy. I'm kind of intrigued to see where he goes next as well. Have I missed any of the siblings? I haven't done 5. I don't think so. I'm so sorry if I have, such a mental blank on one of them. So 5 obviously had the least. He literally is the last to arrive. And in some ways it would have been good if he could have been one of the ones that arrived like a year ago, because it would have explained his like years aging. Because obviously when you're still growing, you visibly age, whereas the others, it's harder to spot. But I still enjoy 5 as a character. I think he's such a fascinating concept of being, you know, like a 50-odd, 60-odd man in a child's body. And he has once again found proof that his siblings are all going to die and the apocalypse is coming, and potentially it's because of them again, or at least because of how they've changed the timeline, or just fate catching up to them, or who knows what. So 5 is aware that we have these weird grey, light blonde-haired people after us. 5 is aware the apocalypse is coming. Diego was a bust. Luther is seemingly a bust. I'm very intrigued. If he manages to track down Vanya, what's that going to do with her? She doesn't seem to have her memories, or even if she does have memories, she's very happy. It's all a mess. 5 is yet again kind of out of his depth. Now, to an extent, being a child, school uniforms are fairly, like, I feel like he can kind of blend fairly well throughout all of history. He's white, which always helps. He'll be able to kind of fit in a little bit better around the place. He's got knowledge of time travelling before. He's been to these decades. That will definitely help him. Obviously, he wasn't a child when he went to these decades, but, you know, he's been to this time period. So that's all really, like, interesting in that sense, that he's almost the most experienced of them, although they've all now lived here for time. He's found that guy who has the evidence. I feel like that's not the last we're going to see of him. I can't remember his name, the UFO dude, but he now thinks he's met an alien, and I'm still believing that they're potentially part alien. We still have had no explanations from the fact that their dad was an alien who brought on, he was leaving his planet, and then there was glowy space dust. I mean, we'll figure it all out. 5 has got yet another desperate mission, yet another deadly countdown, and this time he has no clues about what's going to cause it. I mean, he does know that at some point the Soviets are going to invade the US, and then there's nuclear warfare. I feel like that is a place. Why would that be? What would have caused that in this moment? That is a very important thing to look into. All I can think of would be a war being declared if maybe the Soviets get blamed for assassinating JFK or something, and then America might declare war in retaliation, and that would kick everything off. That's all I can think of right now with the story pieces we have, but this show, no doubt it's going to be over a diamond that was lost by Tutankhamun when he time travelled to the present, you know. We'll figure it all out. So then the crazy silver-haired people, the light-haired people, now it could be as simple as like, they're Soviet agents. I think that's the least likely possibility. They could also be people from the, oh my god, the name of it. Their name always escapes me. The time travel people coming to try and wipe out they could be someone totally different trying to wipe out like time interlopers. Maybe the apocalypse has always been sort of spurred into motion by these people. They're trying to make sure it happens. They could be aliens from the dad's planet trying to mop up the mistakes he made if they're not happy that he created these children, if he did create the children. There are still so many answers that I'm really excited to kind of find out. And of course, our characters always have to be being hunted down by crazy assassins. We wouldn't want it any other way. We would. So I think that is pretty much all of it summed up. I'm so intrigued. I'm really, really invested already in this season. And I know, thinking about it, I kept thinking about through the episode, their father is alive right now. he came back to the 1800s, if I'm not mistaken, so he's out there. If possible, they could go and visit him. And they might be, if they do rewrite the timeline or manage to save this apocalypse, maybe they're the ones that tell him about the apocalypse, which is how he knows it's coming. But I don't particularly like that, because that would kind of mean that they triggered their own abuse, and like it's all like a mess. It wouldn't excuse what he did to them. Like they could say to him, "And be better to us, please, dick." Maybe that's why somehow I'm intrigued. But yeah, this was a fantastic episode. Obviously right now, if you were to see any of the news articles that had them in it, he wouldn't think anything of it because they're not his kids yet. Maybe if you saw them with powers, he might put it together if it's to do with his planet and everything, but we will find out. So I'm loving this show. I still love all of these characters dearly. I still don't have a favourite. I don't even have a least favourite. I just love them all in different ways. I can relate to some of them in different ways, but I just really care about them. And I'm praying at some point we get them bonding as a real family unit, that despite the trauma they've been through, that their strength can be their bond with each other. So this was a fantastic episode. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon. You get those 2 weeks in advance, and you can get the edited version 1 week in advance as well. Thank you for watching.